Good morning, everyone. My name is Markis Abraham. I'm the Director of the Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity. Extremely excited about being here this morning and sharing with you all an update on probably one of the biggest projects in our county's history. I consider it very historic, and I'm extremely happy about being involved with the project pretty much since the beginning. Today, we'll run through where we're at with the project and discuss potential opportunities that exist and answer any questions. And this session will be recorded. We're going to make it available for people to view later on. And we'll also be attaching some documents with the recording so that you can review the presentation. And if you need any other information, feel free to contact us. A few housekeeping items. If you have a cell phone on, try to put those on mute or vibrate so it doesn't disturb the presentation. We do not have a mask policy anymore in this building, but to the extent that you feel comfortable, you can keep your mask on and social distance. If you have to take a call, please step out the room. Obviously, you're welcome to come and go freely. There's a door open in the back that'll make it easy so you don't have to come through the front. Refreshments, help yourself at any time. Also, the restrooms are here to the right. If you go out to the right and make another right, the restrooms are right there in case you need to use the restroom. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the session, so please save your questions till the end. We ask when you do have a question, you get to that mic there in the middle. We want everything to be recorded, and that'll help us out tremendously with the sound. Before we begin, I want to recognize some people in the room here that were gracious enough to come and join us in this session. First, I want to recognize Michael O'Connor, General Counsel for HCIA, who's in the room. HCIA is the reason this project even exists. And again, there's great leadership in putting this project together. And we thank you, Michael, for coming here with us in this session. Commissioner Bill O'Day is not present, but he sent a representative from his office. He's currently working out his parking situation, but he is here, and we appreciate the commissioner for representing at our session today. It's a very important project for all the constituents around our county, and Commissioner O'Day has been a very staunch advocate for our vendor community on this project. So we appreciate the commissioner for having someone here at this seminar. Next, I want to recognize Todd Hewer from Hudson County Buildings Trade and the local 164 IBEW. He's the financial secretary of the Hudson County Building Trades, as well as the business agent for the local 164 IBEW. Thank you, Todd, for being here. We appreciate that. We also have Valley Bank here with us. Dana, appreciate you bringing your staff here today. We've met with Valley Bank. They are a financial institution that is really looking to be a resource for the community and our local vendors. And I think we're going to do a great partnership and developing programs for resources for our local vendors, especially on this project. So thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. I want to introduce our presenters, our panelists, I should say. We have from Terminal Construction Corp, the general contractor on this project, Jack Grutta. Thank you for being here today. From MAST Construction, the construction manager on behalf of the principal HCIA, Paul Skabich. From SRL Enterprises, our consultant on this project that ensures compliance with various contract provisions, but they're our project consultant. William E. Miller III, the partner in charge. I already introduced Mr. Hewer, who's here with the Hudson County Building Trade. And obviously, I'm here and very happy to be here. So without further ado, we'll get going with our program. And just real quick commercial on our office. Our initiatives in our office are all about making sure that our local vendor community has every opportunity to do business with the county. Of course, we do business outside of the county, and we'll continue to do so. But my office, our goal is to make sure that we maximize the relationships we have in this county so that the businesses here are benefiting from all the purchases and business that the county does. I'm new in my role, and I'm very happy to be in the role. I have a passion for helping businesses, and we have nowhere to go but up, quite frankly. So in our office, one of our goals is to increase contract awards. We are working very diligently on not only regular purchases through Hudson County, but also increasing the number of set-asides we make available for small and diverse businesses. We are helping businesses develop more viable businesses, providing a modicum of business development best practices to help businesses maintain and stay afloat and thrive. The biggest thing to me with businesses, having experience as a business owner, is can you stick around, your longevity. If you can set yourself up to having longevity and keep working hard, you're going to reach your goals. But so we try to help businesses understand how to grow and sustain, especially in this difficult economy. We also want to create greater economic opportunities. One of the things that was great on this project, and it'll be talked more about, is how they made strong efforts to break down some of the work so that smaller vendors can be on the projects and experience opportunities that they may not have in their own private work. So that's an example of how we work with other agencies across the county to make sure we increase business opportunity. And then increase the dollars within the county. We obviously are looking to work with the best businesses, the best service providers to get the best bang for our county dollars. But we also know that there are great businesses right here within our county that we can rely on to provide the goods and services we need to run. And so we're really keen on making sure that happens. Without further ado, I'm going to turn over this portion of the program to our consultant, and William E. Miller, the partner in charge for SRL Enterprises.
Thank you, Markis, and good morning, everyone. So I'll start the presentation by really just doing another welcome, and a welcome on behalf of SRL Enterprises, because the principal owner and managing partner of SRL Enterprises, Mr. Romaine Lewis, cannot be here today. He had full intentions on being here, but he has a 2-year-old daughter, and she had a medical procedure early this week, so he's absent. But no further ado, myself, I'm William E. Miller III. I'm managing partner for the project based on location, and I'm just a kid from Jersey City. So today's like this is exciting for me for multiple reasons, but one, I grew up in Jersey City. Went to PS number 22, graduated from Abraham Lincoln High School. My mother still lives in Jersey City, my siblings, my family. So having an opportunity to work at home after spending 23 years working, mostly outside of this region, all across the United States, had projects designed, built in Puerto Rico, to come back home after not being here since 2007, working on some of the schools in Jersey City, it's like a homecoming, and it gives me great pride to know that we're moving Jersey City forward, we're moving Hudson County forward, and that projects like this provide me an opportunity to do what I practice and what I've trained for. I am a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. What that means for me is that we take the tools from diversity, equity, inclusion and create access for small businesses. This opportunity allows me to work with great contractors like Terminal Construction, great authorities, the Hudson County Improvement Authority, other supportive services and great experts like MAST Construction, to bring together opportunities for small businesses in Hudson County and throughout the state of New Jersey, putting people to work, spending dollars in the county, and building a project that we all can be proud of, and it's going to serve this public for generations to come. So SRL is the oversight compliance monitors. We are sort of the oversight to what's happening on the project, but also enforcement if some things aren't going well. And I can tell you from after almost a year and a half of this project, from the time it was awarded, this is a very good project, and you'll see as the slides progress. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm not accustomed to standing behind podiums. I like to be in the open. So can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So in order to go through the slides that I want to go over, we're going to do a brief overview of the project, because the real star of the show today is Terminal Construction. They are the design builder. They're going to walk you through what this project will look like from start to finish. and then I'll come back later and tell you some of the highlights of year one. But overall, the Honorable Frank J. Guarini Justice Complex, commonly referred to as the Courthouse Project, is going to be a 406,000 square foot, 5-story building, single-story basement, located across the street from the current courthouse at 595 Newark Avenue. There will also be a 6-story parking garage located at the east end of the courthouse building, and that'll provide parking for the county employees, judges, jurors, and others in that area. As we know, traffic in Jersey City can be a bit much. It will replace the current county administration building at 595, and again, it'll be directly across the street. The Hudson County Improvement Authority has been designated as a developer. That entity is responsible for carrying out the construction of the courthouse project for the duration, and that was 1,296 calendar days for substantial completion. So this contract was awarded, I believe, in October of 2020. I've been involved since that time. ACI has established a 30% cumulative diversity and inclusion goal for minority, women-owned, disadvantaged, small, veteran-owned businesses within and outside of Hudson County. So to put that in plain English, this has never been done before. So this is what is considered a historic project. The first in the county that has an actual goal dedicated to small, minority, diverse businesses, which means the contractor of record in their contract is responsible for 30% of the total gross dollars to be expensed with certified firms. 2 of the goals within the 30% are dedicated to Hudson County. You'll see later, but there's a 10% goal directly for Hudson County certified and another for Hudson County small businesses that may not be in the program. So this is a very impactful program, and being that it's the first time it's being done, it's pretty historic. All the work at all tiers of the project have been made available for XBE participation. We say XBE to encompass all of the minority, women-owned, disadvantaged, small, and veteran business enterprises, including local. And then the authority, HCIA, their owner's rep, MAST Construction, the design, build, the terminal construction, Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity, and SRL all work together to ensure that the goals, other requirements are being adhered to in order to get the highest level of participation for Hudson County's first gold standard design, build, construction project. You're going to see the difference today in the presentation that terminal provides. The 2 big terms here are design, bid, build, which is the traditional method, and design, build, which is actually the method, the means and methods for this project. Design, build is where the one entity, the design builder, enters into a single contract with the owner to provide both the design and construction. That's very important from those who do traditional design, bid, build work, because how the contracts are awarded, when they're awarded, the phasing of the projects, when firms are integrated. You may get a contract award at the beginning, but your phase work starts in year 2 or 3 or 4. So we're going to do a lot, talk about the design build, and the pros and cons of it is really the pros for us, because design build, the owner provides a very definitive description, detail for design contracts to bid on, which is what HCIA provided. The bid, the general rule is low bid wins the project. However, in design build, you look for greatest value. In terminal, when all the numbers were settled, but all of the influence from what they're going to do, terminal provided the best value in their bid. And then the build, the contractor builds the specified detailed program in accordance with the specifications. All items are called out in the detailed plans. So this is a very well thought out program. It was well written by Hudson County Improvement Authority, inclusion of the goals, the timelines, the benchmarks, and the contractor was responsible to those, adhered to those, and you'll see in this presentation where they are today and what that looks like for the future of this project. The pros of design build we kind of discussed, enhancing creativity and innovation during the project life. They're able to change the means and methods as they see fit to give greater prosperity to the project. Improving budget certainty. It's a lump sum contract, so the design builder has the ability to control costs and manage things in a very effective manner, which improves the cost effectiveness and also delivering on capital projects. Design build has been proven to be faster by making use of design construction, increased flexibility and access to resources. It's considered the fast track delivery process. So much so that the state of New Jersey, at the end of 2021, beginning of this year, has now signed into law design build as a tool the state can use to build projects like the Hudson County Courthouse Project. It is going to be the new paradigm in construction, whereas design bid build has held it for the last 40 years. Design build is kind of the wave of the future. So the Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity in this project wanted to make sure that contractors and providers in Hudson County get an opportunity to understand this from this project's perspective, but for all the future projects that the county may undertake in design build. At this point, I have the honor and distinguished privilege to introduce to you Mr. Grutta, who is going to go over terminal construction's process, where they are in the project, and present to you on behalf of the design builder.
Thank you, Will.
Morning. I'm going to do a little overview of the bid process and the status of the job, but we're going to start with a little tour. I'm hitting
Right there.
which one?
We're good. You're there. It moved.
Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. Current status and project timeline. Approximately 28% complete. Parking garage precast begins beginning of April through May of 2022. Steel erection continues through September 2022. Then the next phase is building enclosure. Building is tight by May 2023. Interior work begins. The mechanical, electrical commissioning and system startups are next. Final inspections and TCO is projected for June 2024. Final CO is October 2024. The bid team contact list. And I have handouts so you don't have to copy names. You can take them. Donald Danello, President CEO. Brian Kennedy, Purchasing Agent. Ann Spenley, Purchasing Assistant. And Maria Avila, Purchasing Assistant. Those are your contacts to get your name into them, and they'll put you on the bid list. And when the work comes up, we send out an invitation, which I'll go over next. Again, get your names in and any information to one of those people at our office. We prepare the bid list, and we filter for the XBE. We filter for the certain zip codes also. And once the work is scheduled to put out to bid, we send an invitation out to your firm. Once you receive the invitation, on that email will be all the pertinent information. There's links to the contract documents, all the information you would need to bid. And you could have the option to either upload your bid to that website, or you could do it the old-fashioned way and send it into the company, or call it in, or whatever's easier for you. William touched on the goals of for the project, for the XBE, which we're pretty close to obtaining. The project is covered by a workforce participation for the workforces. The Hudson County minority of 60% and women workforce of 6.9%. In order to bid, there's mandatory documentation. Project labor agreement that you would get if you were awarded a bid, but you must have a New Jersey registration certificate, New Jersey Public Works registration certificate, New Jersey Department of Treasury notice of classification, and any trade license and permits. Those are a must. Insurance requirements. You'll have to post insurance to work on the project, workers' comp, employees' liability, commercial general liability, business auto policy, umbrella excess, contractor pollution, professional liability. All of that will be gone over once you're invited to bid on the project. William touched upon this. There's a project affirmative action plan in force. All subcontractors and vendors are required to comply. There's periodic reviews, monthly forms go into the state, and William has his staff. SRL has staff comes in, does audits on the job every week. What to expect if you become a subcontractor on the project. Prior to your start of work, there'll be a pre-construction meeting, orientation for everything on the site. Normally, we have it on site. We'll go over the safety, insurance, how the billing works on the project. There'll be weekly foreman meetings every week, a bi-weekly principal meeting. Billing is monthly to terminal. Common documents available on the web-based project management software, which is Procore. And daily workforce reports and affirmative action participation. Those are some of the items that would be collected on a monthly, weekly, and monthly basis. Oh. Want to join the team? Contact Ann Spanley. That's your best go-to person, and she could set you up with getting on the bid list, and when necessary, to get the invitation to bid out. On a personal note, I've been in business with Terminal for 45 plus years. This is the most spectacular job I've ever been on. It really has. I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. It's just great. So on a personal note for me, it is a great project. I'm sort of a construction nerd, and I just love seeing a project come together. MAST was nice enough to have me down this summer when they were just pouring the foundation. And, I get to be a kid and look in the hole and do things like that. But it is just an awesome, awesome, awesome opportunity here in Hudson County. And like I said, I'm happy to be a part of it. We ran through, forgot the clicker. We ran through our services a little bit. These are just some more official looking updates on what we do. On this project, when we got involved early on in 2000, well, it was actually right when the pandemic started in 2020, when RFPs were going out for the bid, and our office was involved with going through the interviews with HCIA. We also spent a lot of time going through the interviews for hiring the consultant when Will and SRL came on. We've been involved from the beginning, searching and vetting businesses to possibly be involved with the project. I think one of our office's greatest things that we did on this project so far is really rally the vendor community, the local vendor community, to put bids in at the beginning of the process. Just a brief explanation on the way that worked. HCIA knew that they wanted to really put a strong commitment within the contract for whoever was ultimately awarded for a minority presence, a small business presence, and especially in Hudson County. And so prior to us getting the final awardee, we worked with the 3 finalists to develop what we called a utilization report. And so what Terminal and every other bidder was required to do, and this is prior to the award, was talk to local vendors, figure out what the scopes of work they could provide, vet them, and then decide, these are the vendors I want to work with to fulfill the 30% goal that are coming up. And to this day, that list still exists. That list is still the list that we use to go by if there is an opportunity, if one of the businesses drops off or is having any issue. But the fact of the matter is Terminal committed to it, just like the other vendors did, but Terminal was awarded. And to this day, they've stuck to it. The same vendors that were identified 2 years ago that will work on the project with them, they bring in and they vet and they get them going. Now, look, it's 2 years later. Something could have happened to the business. Maybe the business is now not in a position to be on the project, whatever the case is. But the process is, let's go to that list that we committed to 2 years ago. And now we know this particular package is being approved and we're bringing on these new vendors. And who they are is right here. We contact them, we get them mobilized, and we get them moving. It's been a great process, especially with SRL involved, dealing with any issues that may come up. And so the fact of the matter, and SRL will talk about it more, of where we are with that goal is something to be really happy about. Because do we want more than 30%? Of course. But no one has done 30% on any project. You know, they haven't done anything more than single digits, to be frank with you. So, you know, we may be doing a lot of smiling, we see our teeth a lot, but it's something to be proud of for our county and for our leadership. One of the things you're gonna, you should know, on most of these projects, you have the responsibility of the contractor is a good faith effort. And there are a lot of things that go within it. There's law on it. There's all types of guidance on this. So you're gonna attend pre-bid meetings, do advertising, do outreach, which our office assisted with a lot, including SRL, provide written notices and all the like. And I would say that the good faith efforts are really there, but if you know anything about public building in the state, this rubric has been really, you know, not the favorite of the public and of contractors, because they just believe that the contractors do the minimum and then they move on. But that's just not the case on this project. The fact that we're sitting here now, within the second year of building, they've already done all this. They don't have to do anything else really and be in compliance with what normally goes on. But as soon as I reach out, as soon as SRL reaches out and says, we need to have another event, we need to update the community, we need to know where we're at, and we need to, let's do it. Let's do it right away. So I think, you know, as we continue to do more design build projects, not only in the county, but across the state, this will continue to be mentioned, but a lot of firms are going to have to deal with the fact of the track record that was set on this project and really ramp up their efforts and do much more than just the good faith efforts. Now, obviously, as a subcontractor, you're going to have to really deal with maybe something you haven't experienced in the past in your private business. Working on public jobs is not necessarily the same. You're going to have to be able to carry for a while until you get paid. You're going to have to make sure that you're using your staff and not subbing out the work again. Because one of the things on these projects is the actual work and services that you provide and supplies you provide are really the only thing that's counted, right, toward the goals. So if you get a job and it's too big for you and you sub it out, and there might be restrictions on that, but the point is you sub it out and it's a non-XBE firm, then all those funds and all that hard work you did is just, it's not going to be counted. One thing I told my staff, and we talk about with respect to language when it comes to being one of these XBE businesses, meaning you're certified, is that certification in and of itself doesn't really give you any opportunities, but it just allows you to be counted. And you got to believe that firms who are looking to do the counting are incentivized by that. So, excuse me, if you are certified, now they can count you, right? And then going back to you, if you're on the job and you start giving out work to other entities that aren't going to be counted, then it's not going to really be helpful. So we want our XBEs to understand the capacity they need to be on the projects, work with us, work with SRL to get a deeper understanding of that, and be prepared to do that in all ways, financial, workforce, and the like. So we definitely want to give you a little advice on that. And this a little bit more on what I was talking about. An XBE, if an XBE subcontracts to a non-XBE, doesn't count toward the XBE goal. When you perform as a participant in a joint venture, only the dollar value that you're performing on with the joint venture is going to be counted and not the entire joint venture unless the entire joint venture is on the project. And you have to be performing a commercially useful function on the project in order for it to be counted. We don't believe we're going to have that issue with our subs. The way in which the jobs were planned out seems very robust and specific enough that, you know, everyone, there's an interior package that's going to be coming out soon. Everyone who's on that list are going to be, you know, doing commercially useful functions. But this is an issue that can come to pass and really bite us in the butt. So we want to make sure that it's aligned with stuff that's really going to be substantial on the job when we award contracts to our XBEs. These are the, Jack mentioned it, you're going to need certain documents in order to participate on the project, and we went through this. The important issue is this part right here. SRL Enterprises provides one-on-one technical assistance to Hudson County firms in need of support in securing the required documentation in advance of the subcontractor opportunity. Anything you see on here that you don't quite understand or you don't know how to obtain, we can help you. SRL can help you. Our office can help you. So there's never, on this project particularly, you're going to have the resources that you need to be successful, especially with respect to things like required documentation. I'm going to switch over to Will now so you can finish up this part of the presentation.
Thank you, Markis. And I see the theme here, and I just want to make sure that everyone recognizes what I'm hearing as well. Jack said it, Markis said it, I've said it in my opening, and if you hear from Paul, who's the resident expert on the project with everything schedule and time, we were talking earlier before the program started, and he was a part of the team that helped build this facility to transform it from the original culinary school to what it is now and moving the culinary school over. He said it. And the word that we've all said so far is pride. There's a great sense of pride with this project and this opportunity, and we want to make sure that every firm in this room or every county administrator or program has the same pride, because you'll see the numbers. And I'm not even going to tell you what the numbers are, but I want you to have a sense of pride with this project. So we mentioned earlier, there's a project budget for this contract. It is $309.5 million is the size of this contract. The goal that was assigned was 30% overall based on the gross value of the project. That equated to a 10% goal for Hudson County certified firms that are minority, women, or disadvantaged. The second 10% goal was for Hudson County firms that are small or veteran-owned businesses. The third 10% was for non-Hudson County firms that were also certified in the state of New Jersey. Cumulatively, that 30% equates to $92.9 million. That is what terminal construction is responsible for in order to be in compliance with the goal requirement. Now, before I tell you what the numbers are, I learned this very early in life. I think it's my uncle who always gave me these quotes to remember. But he said, Winston Churchill once said, "The pessimist sees the challenge in every opportunity, but it's the optimist that sees the opportunity in every challenge." So when you take on a project of this size, scale, and complexity, it is a challenging, daunting task that you're going to be in for 40 years. And parking, construction, weather, all the issues that can affect you externally, you have to deal with. But the people who truly believe that this is going to come out the right way, the people who see the opportunity before one shovel went in the ground or before excavation, and the people who see it when you're cleaning the doors to open up and do the ribbon cutting, they are the optimists. I encourage you to be optimists because when you do that, it leads to better results. So if you look at the project from a cost perspective, the goals as is, we're reporting these numbers as of January 31st of this year. So with the three goals I showed you, the amount to date for the Hudson County MBEs, WBs, and DBEs, they've expensed already $24 million. Executed contracts. For the Hudson County small business and veterans, another $15.2 million under contract with terminal construction. For the non-Hudson County certified firms, there's another $35.3 million expensed, which is under contract. Cumulatively, that's $74.6 million of a $92.5 million goal that is already under contract, and we're at the first quarter of year 2. Having done this work for the past 23 years, I started right out of NJIT. I was a civil engineering major. I did an internship with New Jersey Transit. My first project was the Hudson Bergen Light Rail. And I was proud of that because it ran through Jersey City on its way to Hoboken and Bayonne. And I got to tell my grandmother and my mother, you could look out the window from where we lived and see the light rail going past. So from that project, I learned the difficulties of this type of work and that every contract is not the same. And I've gone on to do bridges and tunnels, highways, mass transit rail, hospitals, stadiums, all throughout the U.S., including, Puerto Rico, which is one of my favorite projects in Trinidad. But I've never seen a project have this much success in its first year of work. The first year is the most difficult year because it's setting the tone, it's managing expectations. You have to design before you start construction in a design-build environment. So typically your first early works are A&E. And then you get into what this team has done with the leadership from the authority, with the oversight for mass construction, and with terminal construction supported by the county has done in 1 year is on record pace. And I'll show you why. So you know that the contract amount is $309. We know that the goal overall is $92.8. We know that the $30 million is the 10% goal for each subcategory. We know that we're currently, if you look at the percentage, we're at 72% of the actual goal. But I got more news. This morning, just talking with the team, the current amount of $74 million is no longer the number. As of February, the amount is $84 million awarded. So therefore, the 72% attainment is no longer. We're into 90% attainment. The current plan XBE participation amount, that's the current plan, that's not what's awarded, is $122 million. Approximately $30 million more than what the goal is. So as Markis said, this is a first time putting a goal. In prior projects, we're in the single digits with attainment. Not only is Terminal committed to meet the goal in their contract, not only have they worked with the partnership to meet the goal, they're now on pace to exceed the goal by more than $30 million. Now, it gets better because there's just a couple weeks ago, they have some new opportunities that weren't forecasted in the original utilization plan that Markis talked about. We still use that list. The firms who are currently on that list who haven't gotten their contracts executed yet are pending. As design progresses, they release those scopes of work. Those firms will then have their contracts executed. So the $84 million will get closer to the 122. But when they find a new scope of work, instead of self-performing or instead of hiring one of their affiliate firms, they pick up a phone or they send an email to the Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity and to SRL and say, hey, we have a new scope of work. Can you help us identify additional firms for consideration? So then we reach out to you by phone, by email, or post to the county saying we're looking for this service. And some of our referrals have gotten work. And if you have an issue, you call, there's a firm here, we could talk later, but he called, he had a concern, he got work, and now he's in line for more work. So this is the type of commitment you have in Hudson County. This is the shift. This is the new paradigm. I don't think that any project that comes after this can give you a flaccid answer that is not going to fly, because you're going to know that the bar has been set very high. And we did this purposely, the county did this purposely to benefit contractors in Hudson County. Workforce goals. So in addition to contract goals, this project also requires workforce participation. So as again, SRL is the consultant, we do oversight. Our job is to make sure that what the county put in the contract, what terminal agreed to in the contract, gets done correctly. So the minority goal for this project is at 60%. Attainment to date by all minorities who've worked in workforce craft labor roles on this project so far is 39.8%. We'll continue to monitor monthly, and that goal we want to get closer and closer to 60 before the project expires. However, with the women participation goal is 6.9%. There's only 0.1% women participation in craft labor hours to date. So we know that there's some improvement that's needed there. And I'm hoping that some of the other trades that are coming on have more women in their ranks that are then called out from the union to be part of this project. Now, you see that the Hudson County resident goal is 0%. That is a contractual obligation. However, to date, there's 16.10% of all the minority hours worked and women hours worked that have been done by minorities or women in Hudson County. So even when there's a 0%, you normally get 0%. But on this project, the commitment is there where you got 16% where there's no goal. There's a Hudson County resident apprentice. That goal is also 0%, but based on the hours worked to date, apprentices from Hudson County is 2.89% attainment to date. And we expect that number to grow as the work progresses. And then the first year minority, women, and apprentice was a 50% goal for year one. So at the end of December 2021, there was an attainment of 46.35%. Now again, 46.35 is not 50, but you know what? As an optimist, I see the potential here, and we're going to continue to track that number. So by the end of the project, that was only a 1-year requirement, but we're going to do it for 4 years. And I'm sure that the number is going to be well over 50% at the end of 4 years. So we have here on a monthly basis, we keep a cumulative tab of how many residents in Hudson County are participating. So to date, for the period beginning January 2021 through January 2022, there's been exactly 201 residents. 119 of those residents have been minority, 82 were non-minority, and they have a cumulative total of 21,149.5 hours of work on this project. Again, this is a total team effort. It started with the authority, Hudson County Improvement Authority. It's passed on to their owner's rep, it's MAST, it's passed on to terminal, it's passed on to the county office, to SRL, and to the general contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, vendors, banks, residents. This is a total community effort, and we all should be proud of this project when it's done. At that time, we have a dais of Mr. Markis Abraham, Jack Grutta, Paul Skabich, myself, and but before we get to the Q&A, there's some dignitaries in the room that I think we should give an opportunity to speak. So, Mr. Markis, I'll bring you back up.
Yes, thank you. I'm still on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So first, I want to ask Mr. Todd Hewer to come up. He's going to just give a brief information about the union part of the project, because there is a union job. And hopefully, if you have questions, we'll deal with that after we give one more presentation. Thank you, Todd.
Good morning. How are you? My name's Todd Hewer. I'm with the Hudson County Building Trades. Unfortunately, you're getting the second team today. Pat Keller had a previous engagement, but I work hand in hand with Pat all the time. The name Bill O'Day came up before. He does a program called Project Impact, where we get minority men and women from Hudson County. We teach them, sometimes they get out of high school and, their math isn't all there, or sometimes they get out of high school, they don't have a driver's license, or, an assortment of things. What we do, we bring them along, we mentor them, if you will. Project Impact mentors them and prepares them to take tests to get into the various trades. There's 13 different affiliates, from electrical to bricklaying to carpentry. So we prepare them to get into these programs. When someone gets into a trade union, it's not, just, you're in. You have to actually take a test. The Department of Labor actually grades the test. The local unions have nothing to do with grading the test. So, we can't promise anybody anything, but we can prepare them to take these tests, to get them into programs, to give them careers, not just a job that's going to last for 6 months. I mean, it's a lifetime career. As far as compliance with the numbers, that's kind of up to the contractors. You really have to stay on the contractors, because if the contractors don't ask the respective union, look, I need a Hudson County minority, or I need a Hudson County woman, we just provide the workforce. We don't tell them, you need another 10% or whatever. The contractor themselves have to ask. And then, if we have them available, we'll definitely send them. And this is very similar. In Jersey City, we have PLAs, which is a PLA project, where there's certain amounts of, they're looking for, in Jersey City's case, Jersey City residents or Jersey City minorities. So we know the trades all know how to do this. This is nothing new to us. And, we make our best effort, and, we're usually right there with the compliance. That's all I can think of right now. If you have any questions, I'll be here for the rest of the session. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Now, I mentioned earlier that we wanted to make sure we helped vendors have resources, financial and otherwise. One of the things that we know might be a challenge for smaller companies is the onboarding to a big project like this, and being able to carry that overhead until you get paid from the general contractor. So I can imagine a lot of the private businesses are used to getting deposits up front so that they can start the job, mobilize and the like. And that's not going to happen on this job. And so understanding that background, that environment, led us to think, well, some of these vendors are probably going to need some financial support, at least to start off. And it'll be a good idea for us to try to help with that and try to see if we have local partnerships we can make to make that happen. And so I reached out to a few banks. My office, Valley, was gracious enough to meet with me. And we started brainstorming and just thinking of ideas. One of the things I was very happy to know, though, when I got there was they've been thinking about this well before I was thinking about this. They have a great community lending branch. And, they basically told me, look, we've been in this business. So, yeah, we're willing to work with you and figure out if we could help the vendor community be successful and provide some financial support. So, Dana, I don't know if you want to come up and say a little bit, or maybe somebody on your team. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but we certainly want to give you the opportunity to discuss a little bit about what Valley does. This is Dana Mire from Valley Bank, and you're bringing up Luis De La Hoya. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you, everyone, for having us here. This is a really good initiative for the county, and I look forward for the partnership that to strengthen the partnership and also to extend it. So I brought with me my first vice president for lending community. And this is our passion. We want to be participating with the community for Jersey City, and not just that, providing the resources and services for the lending relationship. So his name is Luis, and Luis is going to take it from here. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Luis De La Hoya. I'm the Director of Community Lending, and I was hired by Valley just to focus on minority business owners. Our goal is to assist business owners that usually doesn't get services from financial institutions in order for us to help them to develop that relationship. I also happen to be the chairman of the board of directors of the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and all the training that we do, we have two programs. One is called HETP, Hispanic Entrepreneur Training Program, and LETS, Latino Entrepreneur Training Program. And those programs, thanks to the Hudson County, happen here at this location.
Wow.
And this is my second time this week at this location. And I say, this location is so good that people will come just for the food.
Yeah.
Because they don't offer you chips. They say that is truffle chips. This is amazing. Now, I'm very happy to realize that because being Jersey City, the most diverse city in the state and probably in the nation, this is important. We have been working on 4 pillars: access to capital, access to new markets, access to networks, and to reduce the digital gap that since the pandemic started is the biggest challenge that we're facing. When small business owners try to access to capital, they face 2 problems: the lack of personal credit history and the lack of collateral. Now, bankers, we don't like surprises. If someone show up to the branch today and tell us, I receive a contract and I need 100,000, and we will ask by when? By Monday. We won't be able to help them, right? But if they come today, they develop the relationship and they tell us, hey, I'm looking on getting a contract. I will submit a bid. We can use that bid as a collateral or as a resource in order for us to consider that. But that doesn't happen overnight, right? Because if you come today and the work will start 6 months from now, we will have time to fix the problems that you are facing in order for you to get it. Now, the other difference is we are allowed, at the community lending team, we are allowed to partner with government agencies and non-for-profits to make sure that the person will access to the resources that they need. And I'm a big supporter of the Pride Chamber of Commerce and the Veteran Chamber of Commerce. And we always partner because we have a lot of business owners that are ready to take care about those jobs. Not only trade companies, but also professional services that can provide a lot of support to this type of projects. If you ever need, and the other thing is when we refer someone to the Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity, we will make sure that that person will have the support to the point that this year we will launch our bonding program. We will teach people how to be able to access to bonding in order for them to be able to do public and private work. This is a commitment. This is not a PR line in some press release. No, this is a commitment. This community lending effort started over a year ago, and now we are 10 people. We are 3 here in New Jersey, 3 in New York, 4 in Florida, and we are looking to have 1 more in Alabama. This is a real commitment, and as I say, the other 2 things is when we talk with prime contractors, they always say, oh, we try and we was not able to identify a subcontract or a minority-owned business. I challenge you that if you tell us what is the challenge, we will provide a list of those suppliers with the qualifications and the resources, and not only one, a few of them. That way you can select the best one that will be able to provide that. And as I say, we will make sure that they will have access to capital and they will have access to the other resources because we want them to succeed, because that way they will be able to access to many other opportunities in the future. When they try to approach a large project like this, they're looking for experience and capacity. We want to build that because that doesn't happen overnight. But we get to the point that we have a few business owners, minority business owners, that they are doing a couple of $1 million on sales a year. And they grew through the pandemic because they was in a niche that was in high demand during the pandemic. We are no longer just a bunch of really small businesses, but take into consideration 92% of the businesses in the US are micro businesses. If 1 out of every 3 hire 1 more person, we will face full employment. That's the power of micro businesses. And minorities, we have more chances to overcome poverty if we become business owners than if we try to find a job, right? We are here to support. We focus on develop long-term relationships. This is not just one activity, right? and we will be here to support anything that you want in the community. And as I say, we are very proud because a lot of good things happen in Hudson County, and the support that small businesses, especially minority business, get in Hudson County is really impressive compared with other. I don't know, the state has a commitment on 4% to purchase services from veterans. And I believe that less than 100,000 have been addressed to veterans. And I have a lot of respect for veterans. If there's any veterans in this room today, thank you for your service and all my respect. That's not possible. If they know how to do a lot of services, they have the capacity, they have the knowledge, right? We will be able to support them, and we will be able to reach out to the Punjabi Chamber or any other chamber that can provide you enough business owners in order for you to be able to exceed those numbers. The only company that I was able to see that was able to exceed was Exelon, which is an electric company, and they developed a program where the Prime start partnering with subcontractors, right, in order for them to learn and practice. Remember, networking has 3 steps: visibility, credibility, and profitability. That doesn't happen overnight. But as we say, we are here to support you. If you want to meet someone, please visit the local branch. They will be able to assist you. And if you need anything else, they will call me and we will be able to assist you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Luis and Dana. That's the type of commitment we're looking for, someone who come up here and give you clear solutions to what we've already identified as things that our local business community needs. So it's great to hear from you, Luis, and we look forward to continuing the relationship. One quick thing before we bring up another speaker. Our office is really committed this year to doing much better than we've done ever on our set-aside program. In case you all don't know, Hudson County has an ordinance that relates to the county doing set-asides. That goal is 10%. It's not a robust goal, but I'm not mad. We have something in place. But set-asides are very powerful, okay? Our office works with vendors on any type of purchase. So it doesn't have to be a set-aside purchase. But set-asides are very powerful in this respect. If we're able to promote a purchasing opportunity in our county as a set-aside, only certified businesses are able to bid. So now, if you're a certified business, you're not going against the bigger businesses within your field. You're only going against similarly, quote unquote, what you would assume are similarly situated businesses, small businesses, minority businesses. And it's a great mechanism. We are pushing hard this year. Last year, we didn't do great numbers on getting set-asides approved, but I can report that this year we've had 7 requests for set-asides come to our office. We've been able to get 5 approved already. So we're rolling this year, and we're going to keep rolling. And we want to announce that because we want to let people know that not only regular opportunities where you're going to be competing against the entire universe that are possible for that, but there are also set-aside opportunities. Please stay tuned to your emails, register in our purchasing portal so you can get updated. And we're going to continue to work to make sure our county businesses are doing well. Next person up I want to bring up is Michael O'Connor, General Counsel for Hudson County Improvement Authority.
Thank you, Markis. I'll be quick. We didn't, I know it said the Improvement Authority didn't need to speak today. Just on behalf of our CEO, Norman Guerra, the board of our commissioners of the Hudson County Improvement Authority, I want to thank everyone in attendance. And I give our congratulations and appreciation efforts of everyone here on the panel today. It reflects, I think, and Markis has, and William, and everyone really has expressed, it's a rather unique, successful coalition and partnership of different entities that have come together to make this a successful project, and it is a successful project. The Office of Business Opportunity, led by Markis, has been an extraordinary partner from the beginning of this, and I think that's reflected in the numbers of participation that we've seen. And that support goes from the county executive, Tom DeGise, the Hudson County Board of Commissioners, the administration and the executive branch and administration that Markis's office is part of. I'd also like to mention the Hudson County Economic Development Corporation, which is led by Michelle Richardson. Tammy Waterman is here. They also provide extraordinary support for businesses generally, and I think have been, champion of the efforts for inclusion in this project. And I think Luis may have left, but I wanted to just focus on something that Luis said, which was building capacity, because I believe that that's really one of the opportunities that are here. It's to build capacity. And I'm speaking not just to the people in the room, I'm speaking to people who may be watching this on a video at some point. We have extraordinary experience that's reflected here, including with the Hudson County building trades, as well as the other partners here, in working on design build projects. As I think it was Markis mentioned, there is a law that is actually, I think they're promulgating the rules now. So within the next few months, municipalities, boards of education, any government entity in New Jersey, and there are 560-something municipalities, and there's probably double that in school boards. They all do public projects at one time or the other. At some point in the next few months, the design build process will be available to them under the law to utilize on projects large and small. And so what you have here in Hudson County is probably the most experienced team in the state. And that includes labor, that includes management, that includes the government entities that are involved in this, from our professionals, our attorneys. Everybody here is pretty much the most experienced in the state in doing design build and doing it successfully. And it is the future. And it is certainly different than the projects that you've all worked on before as vendors, as subcontractors, as contractors. Our intent and expression for you to please take full advantage of this reservoir of experience as we go forward. That's here for us. I want to particularly reference SRL, both William Miller, who's here, and Romaine Lewis, who's not. They work for the Improvement Authority. They're our consultants. They are a terrific team and extraordinary resource, and they are available generally to businesses in Hudson County beyond just businesses that are interested or involved in this project. And then one other thing, I don't know if, I know it was said, but even though these goals are being met and going past them, there are still significant opportunities available to businesses that haven't participated, that aren't on that utilization list that was mentioned here. And that's going to occur during the course of the remainder of this project for at least another 2 years. There'll be pieces that'll be available. And that's what everybody here is looking to try to maximize. And that's part of the difference between a design build and a design. The contracts are pretty much baked at the beginning of the project. So that's where the opportunity is. That's where the potential is. I wanted to, on behalf of Norman Guerra and our board, thank everyone for their participation.
At this time, we are going to open it up for questions. Please feel free. I'm going to, if you can, get to the mic over there. And, oh, you got those two? Okay, perfect. We're good. If you have any questions, please, we'll open it up for questions now.
Yes, and again, thank you all on behalf of coming out today. Hopefully you've seen the value of this team and what's the opportunities that are ahead. The things that were done in the past are great, but we're building future forward. So the Q&A is open. Markis, for the county, as a consultant of ACIA, we answer the questions that we can answer. Any specific questions about the design build process with the team, Mr. Jack Grutta, and any questions about the schedule, timeline that we can answer, Mr. Paul Skabich. And if you have questions in regards to the union, the representative, the delegate is here. So we would like to open it up for any questions you may have so that we can give you real-time responses and information.
Hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good morning.
Yeah, wanted to ask, first of all, a question, but also a statement and my observation. I'm really excited about this project. First of all, being involved as a small business, minority-owned business, being involved in a business that was owned by a service-disabled vet in the last 14 years, and in my past as a commissioner of the Turnpike Authority. So I'm first of all, my name is Luis Fernandez. Everyone calls me Lou. I'm really excited with what I hear today about this project because you're creating a benchmark that New Jersey really needs. Because when you go over across the river, they have set-asides for MBE. We don't have in New Jersey. They're only kind of goals.
Yeah.
There's no factual set-asides. Recently, they did set up a set-aside for service-disabled vets. But I think this is going to really add fuel to the future of the disparity studies to justify and to win the opportunity for the future. Because I think it's a great thing that this project, and I commend the Hudson County Improvement Authority and all the contractors are involved. Personally, I've been involved with all of the contractors as a construction manager, overseeing projects that we've worked with Terminal, did a great job in Elizabeth for Union County College, and have partnered as a small business, minority-owned business in the past with the principals of MAST, Ted, and I think we've done a great job working here in Hudson County. It's a Hudson County Center. We actually, the old former Block Drug, we did work there. We also did work at the various facilities at the Correctional Center. But one of the important things, too, for me that I feel connected with Hudson County is my business when I first started the small business Seawolf Construction with my partner. We moved to Jersey City because I committed our investment as a developer. So the city gave us an opportunity to take the old police station across from St. Peter's College, 769 Montgomery Street. It's called Soleil Lofts. So we converted that old police station into 28 condominium units and office buildings on the first two floors. Currently now you have a daycare center and you have all the units 100% occupant, and we kind of did that during the crisis in 2010. So it was really tough, but it gave us the opportunity to commit to having my business there. Seawolf, and it's currently is a federal contractor. We do work for Department of Defense as a general contractor, but we also do construction management for local communities and state and local governments. And hopefully, my question is being able to get an opportunity in the future to be participant on meeting the goals and objectives on the professional services side. So if the representatives for the Improvement Authority like MAST have opportunities where they need to meet additional services, I'm willing to do that. But at the same time, I just want to commend all, because I think this project is going to create a big benchmark, and the ability to have a company to oversee that is something that when I was commissioner was difficult to do, because it was an initial goal, and then after all the goals went, there's nobody there policing it. And I think that gives the energy to small minority-owned XBEs to see, wow, this is not just a goal, it's reality, because then it gives the ability for them to grow, and in the future, they can give back, because as they keep growing, they're going to remember their roots.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Really appreciate that.
And Lou, I thank you for that success story, because I hope that's the success story for every subcontractor vendor here, to consistently grow, reinvest, and have your businesses reach the success and heights that his business has. And that's the goal of this office, of the Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity. And Lou, to the credit goes to the Hudson County Improvement Authority. The executive and his team had the vision to create a project that has a goal so that there is attainment within the county, with county firms, and that the county dollars are being reinvested in the community. So any credit that this team is doing is the leadership and direction goes to Hudson County Improvement Authority.
And I encourage you showed up, which is always half the battle in any respect. So I'm really speaking to the video, the people who are going to be watching this afterward. I encourage you to take advantage of opportunities like this. You're here today. You already have a relationship with MAST. Paul Skabich is here. You can take the opportunity to network today. That's why we wanted to do an in-person event rather than a virtual event, because we want to encourage people to get back out. Again, we're not medical professionals, but just to get back out and start networking again. So appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Sure.
Please come up.
Good morning. My name is Alka Kustagi. I'm a minority woman, and I do have a signed executed contract already, so pretty excited for that.
Oh, nice. Thank you for being here.
Yes. So my question is, you mentioned that there's obviously going to be change scope of work. So is there any website where I can actually look up and then see, bid on it, or contact the Prime on it?
Paul, you have it? I don't think there's a website where it's going to necessarily be posted, but the idea is to get in contact with Ann Spindley.
Yes, it's right here. You have the contact information for Ann Spindley.
Okay.
They can give
And
you
also
more
the
detail.
handout that Jack gave has the procurement list on it. All of the persons, Brian Kennedy and others who are in procurement, you will reach those persons directly about additional opportunities that's upcoming.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I don't want to call anyone out, but I know that there's a gentleman here, if you don't mind participating. He has a contract on the project as well. And he worked directly with Mr. Romaine Lewis, and they shared some information because he had an initial opportunity. Some paperwork needed to be done, but now he's working on the project, and he has the team has given us rave reviews about his work. So that puts him in contention for some future work, possibly at the end. If he wants to participate, not calling him out or anything, Wright Construction, we would love for the president of Wright Construction to stand and just say a few words about his experience in the project. No pressure. But this is what this is about. It's community building, it's partnership, and I just think this gentleman has a great story so far, and I think it's going to get better on the project. Just say a few words.
Good morning. I'm Patrick Wright from Wright Construction. I'm presently on the project at this time, cleaning the trailers and have a projected bid proposal in for the final cleaning also. I've been I'm a Jersey City resident, as well as a gentleman right there that was speaking. I'm a local tree laborer too. And I started putting my bid proposal in on this project about 2 years ago. And my main objective was Ann Spindley. If anyone wanted to get anything done, she's a person that I speak to. Didn't get an opportunity when I went to their office in Secaucus to see her. She was on vacation. I wanted to put a face, like I told you with Romaine, instead in the emails and the texts all the time, and then put a face to face. But otherwise, in that name, I'm looking forward to this project moving forward, as well as doing more work on this project.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And again, this is for everyone. This is a project that a lot of us take great pride in, and we want everyone to have the same success. So our job as consultants is to connect the dots. The authority gave great leadership. The general contractor, the design builder is a phenomenal track record of successful projects. The county office and also the oversight are all working together. So we just want to make sure that if you call or if you send an email or if you say you need help, that we're there to help you, not just tell you what to do, but walk you through the process, connect the dots, and ensure that diversity, equity, inclusion tools are being used to provide access. I mean, it's great to have forums like this and tell people great things, but it's another thing to actually give them an opportunity. I think the saying goes, diversity is inviting everybody to the party, but access is actually asking someone to dance. We want all of you to dance on this project. And if not this one, all the future projects in the county. We want you to be able to dance.
Absolutely.
Any other comments or questions? So out of respect for everyone's time, because everyone has business to get back to, phone calls and emails to respond to, we thank everyone for coming out. We do have a few more tidbits for useful information to be successful, not only on the Hudson County Courthouse project, but also other projects. Just a few tips for successful bidding. The normal things, responsive on time, participate in activities such as this, review the specifications in your packages, watch for updates, emails, telephone calls, use the proper format when you're making your changes, edits. When in doubt, reach out directly to the designated person and contacts, normally at one point of contact or a team. Adhere to the restricted period All of this information will be provided in the presentation later. We just want to go over a few. The calendar bid submission dates and deadlines, format of content and bid submittal, number of electronic and hard copies if required. Sometimes we're submitting digitally now. Make sure that the proper signatures and notarizations where required. Use the correct forms and versions. These are all just good business tips when you're responding to teams like Terminal or for projects like this, Public Works. And then some of the common mistakes, which is probably the most important, late bids, missing forms, or no price information, blank USB drives or CDs. We all use technology, but sometimes technology that's supposed to help us sometimes fails. Failing to follow directions by providing the wrong number or number of copies in your proposals. Improper labeling or using the wrong version for the bid documents. Failing to provide the required certifications, whether that's a business certification or a different certification, county, state, tax. Not attending mandatory pre-bid conferences. Like this conference today is open, it's not a mandatory, but in a pre-bid when they're putting teams together, like Mr. Wright said, he started the process 2 years ago. You have to attend those in order to be in consideration. Incorrect packaging in whatever form that looks like, submitting after bid submission deadlines, wrong number of copies, discrepancies between electronic copies of missing signatures, notarization. Those are some of the just quick tips that we just want to remind subcontractors and vendors. But again, my role is done. I'll turn it back over to the county, the host of this program, and I wish all of you success. And then there's a networking session to follow, exchange business cards, or come meet the presenters. Markis.
Thank you, Will. Not much more to say. Thank you guys for being here. The recording will be available as soon as I can get it up to speed with ODI. The handouts will be available on our website. Call us, contact us. We had an event a couple weeks ago, Black History Month event, and I said there and I'll say it here. Hudson County Office of Business Opportunity is open for business. Please contact us. Let us get to know you. Let us work with you if we can help. And stay vigilant. That's it. Just stay vigilant. I think Mr. Wright's story is the story of any success in business. The genius thing we did is we just kept going. We just kept going. So stay busy, stay hustling, and I'll see you soon at our next seminar. Thank you, guys.